Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria. I can't believe I'm back so soon. I usually do one video a week, and I've just been called to be here a little bit more. I hope that's okay with you. If this is your first time popping by my channel, the Soul Nurturer channel, please do stop. Really, the intention of this channel is to call in people who need to just pause, connect with themselves, try to make sense of what's unfolding in the collective and in our own inner worlds. My mission is to offer a nurturing space, a place to help you, help all of us reclaim our beautiful soul potential, that which God gave us to contribute to the world for the highest good for all, right? So if this is your first time, welcome. Please do consider subscribing and commenting and liking. It's such an awkward thing to ask people, will you follow me and like me? It's not what it's about. The more I'm playing the YouTube game here, which is the more you like my videos, the more subscribers I get, the more the algorithm says, let's get Victoria out to other people. So, I'm doing this from a place of service. And along those lines, I also offer, for the time being, if you're interested in working with someone like me, I call myself the Soul Nurturer. What does that mean? I have a plethora of transformational tools and trainings and practices to share with my clients to support us all in navigating this world. And so I'm a transformational hypnotherapist, a Jungian-based spiritual director, NLP, all kinds of things. I've trained in energy psychology, and astrology for me has been something that I learned about when I was a kid, and it helped me navigate my world, as does dream work. I also am a dream work practitioner. So I just opened my heart and my soul to wrap around you out there, anyone in need of support, anyone feeling a little like stuck, lost, confused. I believe for me, whether you believe in astrology or not, it's a way for us to follow the patterns, the celestial patterns, and how they correspond with our own life patterns. And they're, to me, that's it. Whether, again, we're in a Mercury retrograde season, so I'm hearing a lot of people say, there's nothing to that. And okay, maybe there isn't. But my invitation to you, especially if you follow or you're part of this channel, is to just track yourself. I call it soul tracking. Track your life. Pay attention to what's happening to you, around you. What's shifting in you? What are you noticing? And then maybe you can see there's a correspondence when you look at astrology. Oh yeah, I noticed when Mercury's in retrograde, things get a little wonky with my electronics, on my communication. When the moon, I just am coming out of the moon transiting my 12th house, clockwork. Whether I'm looking at the lunation cycles, the moon's cycles, or not, I feel it. I know exactly when the moon's in my 12th house. Why? I want to retreat more. I feel more like pulled in. So, and I'm just coming out of those 2.5 days of the moon in Capricorn, which is the majority of my 12th house. So anyway, welcome. Let me know where you're viewing from. You can comment as much as you like. Yay. And occasionally I go live, no set time yet. Occasionally when I feel a call to talk about a topic or I'm dealing with something, I know that we're all connected, that I vulnerably share with the intention of connecting to someone out there and saying, you're not alone. I'm with you. I may be a practitioner that has a lot of training and a lot of tools in my toolkit. I'm also a human. And that's a big theme of this channel. Supporting the fact that we are souls having a human experience, supporting both, supporting the human experience and the soul experience. Okay, which leads me right to this full moon in Pisces, because the full moon Pisces, to me, absolutely, more than any other axis, I think, in this moment, represents us, the soul Pisces having a human experience in, Virgo. So right now the full moon coming up on the 30th at 6:36 p.m. The axis is Virgo Pisces. So the sun is in Virgo, and then exactly opposite from the sun is Pisces moon at 7 degrees. 7 degrees Virgo sun, 7 degrees Pisces moon. This is an opposition. This is a full moon. This is when the moon is lit up by the sun's light, and we get the illumination of the moon brings an illumination for us wherever the moon is. So the moon being in Pisces, it takes us back to the new moon in Pisces that happened, was it February 20th? So about 6 months ago. If you watched a video with me, or you followed someone else, or you just are tracking, maybe you go back to your journal and look at February 20th, what was going on for you. And if you follow the lunation cycle, did you set intentions on that new moon? And now is the culmination point, the full moon. Not only is the culmination, but it also reveals more of, like, say you don't get to harvest what you've been wanting to harvest. Well, the moon will illuminate and show you what is blocking your intentions, what's in the way of your way, what is being revealed to be healed so that you can fulfill the potential of your soul. I have to tell you, it was saying that when this moon goes into Capricorn, and it's mostly my 12th house, I typically emotionally retreat, but I have been not feeling well for the last 3 days. I almost maybe might take a COVID test. I don't think it's COVID. It's just, I just feel unwell. I feel like my body is fighting something. It just may be the change of the seasons. It's starting to cool down a little bit. We had a very warm summer, and now it's starting to cool down, but I feel pressure in my head. I feel extremely exhausted. Now, this may be a transit that we've been having leading up to this full moon. Saturn opposite the sun, which, if you're Saturnian like me, what I mean by that is that you have a strong Saturn influence. I have Saturn in my first house. Thank you very much, Creator. I know I'm here to learn the hard way and over again. But whenever there's a Saturn aspect, and so with this full moon, Saturn is conjunct the moon, and it's still opposite the sun. So this could feel like some weighted seriousness, heaviness. I'm hearing like a screeching halt on the car, like, stop. Let's get out of the car, look at the engine, look at your life, look at everything that's in your world that isn't working. Remember, full moons are going to just reveal, illuminate. And because it's in Pisces, we may have a little bit more emotion. Full moons can draw out our emotions. And by the way, I meant to lead with this. This is not only a full moon, it is a super blue moon. What does that mean? No, the moon's not going to turn blue, but it will, and it, depending on your clearing of the skies, be a spectacular moon to view because it is a super moon. What does that mean? It's closest to the Earth. It's at what the technical astronomical term is perigee. It means that it may appear, especially when it's rising on the horizon, it may look huge, and they're beautiful to behold, these super moons. And by the way, this is, I think, the third one in a row. We had one in July, we had one in August, the first full moon this month on August 1st, which is your hint of why this one's called a blue moon. It's the second full moon in the calendar month. There used to be I'm not going to get into that because I'm not clear on there's another terminology of why it's called a blue moon, but for our purposes, it's the second full moon of August. And it's a super moon. So I do encourage you to get out there and look at the moon and howl at the moon, dance with the moon. So here, this moon in Pisces, again, Pisces, what is Pisces about? First of all, the moon is connected to our emotions, our subconscious. So these things can be drawn out during the full moon. And in Pisces in particular, very sensitive, very emotional. Pisces is a mutable sign. It's a water sign. The glyph is the fish, two fish swimming in opposite directions, which is, Pisces people, and if you're a Pisces person out there, or a Pisces moon or Pisces rising, let me know, can be a little bit like, yeah, no, I'm doing this, and then no, I'm doing that, like swimming this way, swimming that way. And so we may feel that kind of pull on our heart and our being, like, which way do I want to go? Well, that's where our friend Virgo, the sun in Virgo, is going to help. Some of the themes of this full moon, especially with Saturn there, it feels like, I'd say structure and flow, or I was thinking also compassionate course correction, which if you watch, and I do encourage you, if you haven't, go back and watch my Mercury retrograde support video. The lighting isn't great because, why wasn't the lighting great? Oh, because I was recording through my computer. My camera phone is much brighter, much crisper, much clearer, but the content is good. And I take you through a kind of, I call it an inner experience to help navigate the retrograde season. And we do have quite a few planets in retrograde now. It's not just Mercury, it's also Venus. Venus has been retrograding for a while. It's going to be going direct on September 3rd. So what have you been learning about love? I want to know, have any ex-partners shown up? Have you been thinking about an ex-partner? Have you been trying to come to terms with what happened in your past relationships that you maybe haven't resolved? And also, have you reclaimed, remember all the RE words for retrogrades, reclaimed your sense of worth and value? That's the number one, I'd say my top 3 tips for you for healing is reclaim your worth. Tell your mind body system that it is safe to do the healing, do the transformation, make the shift, make the change. Creatures of habit in our human experience, we don't want to change. And yet we can't evolve or grow or move towards our soul possibilities unless we do. Okay? So this healing axis, though, Virgo Pisces is the healer's axis. This, Virgo is the practical healer, and Pisces is the intuitive healer. So, if you are Virgo, sun or moon or rising, you are here to be a healer, to help heal yourself and to help contribute to healing for the collective. Same with Pisces. And Pisces does it in a more etherical way, a more otherworldly way. So this is, the image I have of the Virgo moon axis is like the moon is tethered, like there's a rope around it, and Virgo is holding it, grounding it, saying, okay, Pisces moon, you dreamer, you visionary, it's time to ground and take these ideas and these dreams seriously. And in fact, this is a time for your dream work and your imaginary dreams, your visualization, your visioning. I call it soul visioning, in order to really listen to your soul and then ground it in your human world, your practical possibilities. So I do wonder, and again, I love to check in anytime you feel called or safe enough to write a comment, or you can email me. A lot of people do, and I understand that if you want to be private. But how have you been feeling? And what's bubbling inside of you? What are you feeling called to? What are old dreams coming back? This is a time to reclaim some of those old dreams, not just your nightly dreams, which, by the way, it's a time to put extra focus or take your spiritual practice seriously. You can hear me say serious a lot. It's, not only Virgo, but it is Saturn conjuncting the moon opposite the sun. It's like, I just have this, the image is God, the universe, however you connect, has got you, like, grabbing your shoulders, like, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with the potential I gave you? Why are you holding back? Why are you resisting? Where's your trust? Where is your faith? This is full moon in Pisces. Where is your faith? What do you have faith in? Do not play small in the human experience, but expand with the potential of the full moon in Pisces. And I do invite you. Now, I wanted to get this video done yesterday because it's 3 days before, 3 days after, when the full moon is most potent, when we get to feel into it and get clear on, it's about releasing. And believe me, and I know it started for me yesterday, releasing of tears, crying, clearing. And for me, tears are a sign of waking up, a sign of waking up frozen energy that was just kind of like, this will never happen for me. I give up. I'm not going to give it any attention, or some frozen energy around wounds that need to heal in order, for you to move forward. So you have to feel in order to heal. So welcome your tears. Let them be your teachers. What are the tears communicating for you? Maybe it's just a clearing, maybe it's just a cleansing, maybe it's just a release. But if you notice, and what I talk about on this over and over and over, is if you just pay attention to yourself. Remember my ABCs of transformation: awareness before change, or to slow it down, to engage in the transformational process, awareness before choosing. So a full moon will illuminate what are the choices you've made in the past. And this may bring up some regret. I want to talk about that in a minute. And what choices do you need to make in order to move towards your soul desires, your dreams, your vision, your mission, your soul potential. Okay? So a couple of other things I saw. I'm just watching the time because I have a limited memory on my phone because I have to clear more memory because it's a Mercury retrograde, and these are the things we do, the tasks we do to honor what Saturn wants us to do and Mercury wants us to do. Take responsibility, take action, right? Do the things you've been putting off. That's kind of the energy beyond this full moon, but connected to it as well. So taking your dreams seriously, both nightly and what you're dreaming for and visioning for, take it serious. Create structures. That's me smashing a word. Create structures and boundaries to support your creative and spiritual practice. There was something that was coming to me last night about boundaries. What was it? Oh, yes. Emotions are boundaries. If you haven't set a boundary, like say there's a person that you just keep letting them walk all over you, and yet you feel like shit when you walk away, or you feel emotional when you're around them, that's your emotions coming forward to support you, to communicate, like set a boundary. This person isn't safe. This person isn't comfortable. With Pisces moon, we're like, Pisces people and Pisces energy is very like, there aren't any boundaries. We're permeable, like everything comes in. I've got my sun conjunct Neptune, which Pisces is ruled by, so I'm an honorary Pisces. I'm like, a walking sponge, an empath. So my empaths, you may feel this even more strongly. You're feeling everything and everyone. Now, this is a time to connect and to check in with you, your boundary, your body, your energy, your boundary. Where are you overlapping with someone else? Where have you, especially in relationship, sensitive people, empaths, and codependents, you can lose yourself in someone else. And where do you end and they begin, right? And if you're too much like, what's the word I'm looking for? Merged, because Pisces is kind of just, it dissolves into whatever it's around, right? This is a time to bring yourself back. That Saturn wants to check you. Where are you too much in other people's business? Taking responsibility for everyone but yourself. Anybody? Hearing crickets, I don't know. Tell me if I'm connecting to you in any way what I'm saying. So this is for you to check your boundaries, and also to connect to you, like, oh gosh, Pisces is, follow your intuition, take it seriously, what your intuition is telling you, what your body is guiding you, the embodied wisdom, your intuition, your instinct, your feelings. Listen, pay attention, track it, journal it, pay attention. You may even just journal, what are you teaching me? What are you showing me? What do you want me to know that I haven't been paying attention to? This, Pisces energy can be like in denial or the blinders, like I'm not going to look at the human experience. I'm not going to pay attention to the things I need to pay attention to. But with Virgo here and the sun and Saturn conjunct, you have to look. You have to pay attention. No denial here, although there may be a pull, like, oh, I'm just going to drink it away. This is a time to check your addictions. What have you been too much TV, too much alcohol, too many drugs, whatever you do, too much marijuana, I don't know, where you're clouding your clarity. This is a time to come out of denial and come in to the vital energy of possibilities. You can't make choices from clouded perception. You need clarity. In fact, full moons help us shift our perspective, to expand our perspective, to see something we missed and we need to see. And because Pisces has so much compassion, let the compassion lead you. It's like coming into a room and turning on the light and seeing all the mess in the house, and you're like, oh, or a room you haven't been in for a while, like, oh gosh, it's a lot, it can feel overwhelming. Lean into the compassion of the Pisces moon, okay? All right, so I already said becoming aware of your blurred boundaries. Have you been stuck in codependent patterns? Have you? And here's my definition of codependency. Of course, there's clinical definitions and all, but my feeling of it is, remember, we're dependent when we're kids on the external, on our parents, our caregivers. And we're so deeply wired there that as we become grown-ass people, we still may be operating from trying to get our needs met from someone else. So to me, codependency is you have needs that you haven't met because you haven't figured out that you're the keeper and you're the one who will meet the needs in a healthy way, responsible way. You're still longing for someone to meet your needs. So you get dependent on the external, on a person. We can be addicted to people. Did you know that? Yes, you can. If you're like tethered into somebody else and thinking, well, maybe if they change, then my needs will get met. Oh no, my soul friends, this does not work this way or that way. And you know this. I think you know this when you're honest with yourself. But addicted to, alcohol or a substance or something, even shopping. Like, oh, if I go shopping, I suddenly feel better for a little bit. But it's not authentic. It's not sustainable because it's not meeting the need within you by you. Okay. All right. So I've already talked about this, lost yourself in someone else or someone else's needs. So this is really like the responsibility, Saturn can feel like a heaviness. And so I invite you to check in. Who or what are you feeling responsible that is not even yours to carry or to hold? Again, boundary, especially with parents of adult children. This could be hard because they're so tethered into you and you're so tethered into them that it's kind of like, oh, I'll just do it. It'll be easy. But they're not learning and growing, So, okay. So let's see. I had something more about Saturn I wanted to say. Let's see if it's down here. I did want to be transparent here. I do notice when Saturn is strong in the celestial transits that I can tend to feel more body pain. Does anybody else notice that? I wonder. Or feeling heavy or overwhelmed, or this kind of like, like that car coming to a screeching halt, like time to take everything seriously and get back to work. Party's over, right? And it's just a checkpoint to course correct towards what's still possible, right? So, if you are feeling overwhelmed, this is that perfect time to just pause and put your hand over your heart as I teach. I believe I got this from Tara Brach years ago. Serves me well. That's that, okay. What it's saying is I'm turning within to my own inner world. I'm disconnecting from everything out here so I can be present to my needs, present to my own compassion so that I can offer myself what I need to move forward. I'm offering this to you. So for you, hand over heart, what does your compassion want to offer you in this moment? How does it want to guide you forward? And, taking compassionate action towards what you've been putting off, taking responsibility for that. Okay. And again, surrendering other people's issues that you've picked up. I know the world's heavy right now. And so a lot of us empaths can just feel the weight of the world. For me, my nightly practice, I've shared this before, is I light a candle, demonstrating that's a candle. Yes, it's a candle. I'll light a candle and I'll either take a bath or, which by the way, being in water or near water with this moon is very important, to replenish and also just to offer us some soothing, calming energy during this time of illuminated awareness. But I'll light a candle and I'll say a prayer like, okay, God, these are all the things that are concerning me. I may list them, or I may just say, all the people I said I was going to pray for, or all the things that are going on in the world that I feel helpless and I can't do anything about. I surrender it all to you with trust and faith that you will guide us through. And then I blow the candle out and I let it go to the best of my ability. I let it go. Okay. And then I'll have some dreams probably. And this moon is going to invite you to your dreams. Put a pad of paper, put a pen out, or I just do a recording on my phone. That works for me. I get up because I don't, when I write, I come too much to consciousness. And when you're catching a dream, you want to stay in that kind of really like, what's the word? Hypnagogic state where you're kind of in between wake and sleep. And I will keep my eyes closed. Like, of course, I'll wake up to get my phone, open it, close my eyes. I usually go in the other room because my husband's sleeping, so I'm not going to interrupt him. I'll go in the bathroom, and with my eyes closed, I'll connect. And a good way to catch a dream is to feel into the dream. What does it feel like? What images are there? And even if you catch just one image, that's enough. It's just enough. You've got your door in the foot of that dream for it to tell you more. I'll give you another tip here, since we're on to dream work here. Record it, listen to it back. And when you listen to it, it's like, have you ever had someone tell you their dream and you instantly get, ooh, that makes me think of this or feel that, which is projection. But projecting on your own dream is projecting your own wisdom and your own awareness. So that's a good thing to do. Okay. Little dream work tip. I do say take some time to court the muse of the dream maker. So it doesn't, maybe a lot of people say, I don't dream. No, you do dream. You're just not spending time to say, I want to really honor this part of me. I want to honor my soul wisdom coming through dreams. And I want to honor the dream maker for showing me my subconscious material that I need to work with in order to get to my highest possibilities. If you want more information on dream work, book a session with me. We can work your dreams, or I'm offering this 20-minute consultation for the time being. I'm really enjoying it and they're feeding me. So, and along this note, I will put my website in the description. This is where you can request a 20-minute free consultation or to book a session. But I get a lot of these requests and I always respond. But I've noticed I've had some trouble when I respond. People are not getting the responses. So if you have sent me a request and you've not heard from me, try again through my website. And or actually just go directly to thesoulnurturer@gmail.com. Email me, okay? Because I always feel like, did I get everybody? I had about 20 requests about a month ago, and I believe I got everybody scheduled, so we're good. Anyway, I love doing it because it feels like something. I've always been a service-oriented or a tither. I like to tithe and pay it forward. This is my pay it forward. Like, okay, I know some of you can't afford to work with someone like me, but I can give you 20 minutes to illuminate your journey and hopefully support you in navigating the ways forward. Okay. All right. So we do have, before I go into all the other soul work ideas to work with this full moon, we do have some other changes. So I'm going to go back to the chart. Mars is now in Libra, which is said is not its favorite place because it's in detriment, which means it's opposite the natural ruler of Mars, which is Aries. So it's opposite in Libra. But for me, moving from Virgo to Libra, our collective energy is towards peacekeeping and beautifying and all things Venus. And so for me, it feels really good. We may be thinking more and feeling more into our potential to love and be loved and to find harmony and to no matter what's going on in the world, to have a desire to make it more beautiful, to plant those soul seeds for blossoming and blooming within our own inner world and in our actual life. Buy yourself some flowers. I just can't say that enough. How simple it is to bring joy to your own soul by either gardening and cultivating and growing flowers or there's a farm around the corner from me where I ride my bike. So I go by these beautiful, and these are one of my favorite dahlias this time of the year. Okay, so the retrograde. So I do want to touch on that because there's quite a few. So we have Virgo in retrograde and Venus still coming out on the 3rd, though. We also have Saturn, and Uranus just recently went retrograde. Pluto, and if you follow, Chiron is retrograde as well. So a lot of retrograde energy. Go watch the video. I encourage you. You don't have to watch the whole video. Go to the timestamp for the guided inner work that I offer. And I've listened to it a couple times now, and every time I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting some insights, right? Sometimes I like to listen to my own recordings because then I can guide myself to where I need to go. And by the way, it's not my wisdom, it is yours that we're seeking, right? And I really want to encourage you, whether you're watching me or you're watching other people that are, talking about the celestial weather, the astrological weather, you, my soul friend, are the keeper of your knowing. Don't give your power away by, oh, Victoria said this is going to happen, which I try never to do. I said this might happen. We might have these experiences. You and God and Creator, the universe, however you connect, you're dancing your own beautiful dance. So if you hear something that resonates, that means you already knew that. I'm just helping you illuminate it, okay? Just had to say that. Okay. So yeah, so Virgo, Moon in Pisces. We also may feel called to do some artwork. Take some serious steps towards cultivating that soul connection through Pisces, whether it's you set up an altar at this time and you or set up a little art station and say, okay, soul, what do you want me to know? And you just let yourself kind of draw a picture and paint and then look at it symbolically. What's this communicating back to me, right? Especially with Venus in Leo, still retrograding, but Venus in Leo, some creative expression to find your way back to you. I think for me, that's what a full moon is. Harvesting what you've been working on, growing in your life, noticing what's not growing, noticing, okay, that becomes the work. If what your life isn't working, that becomes the work, right? Like, oh gosh, I've got a block here. This isn't working. That becomes where you take your beautiful compassion and with a little boost from Moon in Pisces, and you illuminate with compassion what's real, what you've been in denial about, and what you can do to, and we're still kind of in a rebirthing cycle, rebirth your authentic self into the world. More of you, more of who God created you to be, not who you became to feel safe or fit in, to be conditioned. And I'm still working with this. Believe me, every time almost I do an astrology video, I feel this, oh my goodness, because at some point I put it in my shadow. I put it in a box and said, no, this isn't acceptable. What will people think about me? But I've been called to it over and over again, and it has served me. It has guided me. God, I believe, has guided me here. And so anyway, on a tangent. So let's go back. Okay, so some soul work things you can do to really connect to yourself and navigate this full moon. Okay, is so it's a good time with all things Pisces. Again, scheduling time for your spiritual practices, your dream work, visioning, creating a vision board, always. And you can also create not just a vision board, like this beautiful, like idealized version of your life, which is beautiful. You can also do a shadow board. Do you know? A shadow board is the parts of you you've neglected or put into your shadow. Like say you're really triggered by people who are super big and bold and loud. Find images that represent what you've been repressing so you can bring it back and integrate it for your individuation, for your reclaiming of your wholeness. Okay. So, this is what I definitely wanted to say. With all these retrograde energies and Pisces moon, you may feel some regret? Do you feel any regret anywhere? Why didn't I? I should have and I didn't. So what I call what a little what's the word I want to say? I'm already in Pisces energy, a little cloudy. Like otherworldly. I can't find words. But there's a word that popped in my head. Okay. So you have a regret. Oh, reset. It's a process that I call reset your regret. Yeah, you have a regret, and maybe we can't completely resolve the regret. Like maybe, you have someone that's passed on and you didn't say what you wanted to say to them before they left. Well, we can't obviously reset it in a way where you're talking to that person in a physical form, but you can talk to them spiritually. I call it soul to soul connection. Or you can write a letter to them, right? Or say, at this time when things are illuminated with the full moon, why did I do that? Why did I say that? You can use your imagination to imagine doing it differently, to reset your psyche, reset your mind, body, soul in integrity with who you are. You are not who you were and what you've done in the past. You are someone becoming every day. But if you're so stuck in regret, you'll keep recreating that person you were instead of emerging who you're called to be. Okay. I think that's all I have for you. So vision board, reset, regrets. Oh, I did want to talk about resistance. This is connected to Saturn too. You can notice when it feels overwhelming, it feels like too much, I'm being asked to do too much and I don't want to do it. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to do my taxes, none of that. And you can feel some resistance. So notice anybody in resistance out there. Are you noticing resistance to your own dreams and desires? Anybody? Comment if you are. Now, resistance can contribute to body pain. Think about all this energy that wants to flow through you. And if you're like, nope, not now. Nope, never. Not going to say that. Not going to do that. Then you talk yourself out of it. Gosh, Saturn is hardcore sometimes and can make you feel so bad about yourself. Thank goodness Pisces is there again to just wrap some compassion around you. But you may be doing the comparison thing because of Saturn. Oh, so-and-so has done this by now. And I thought I would have done this by now. And I'm not. And why am I here? And then it creates more stuck. And then resistance. So I have a distinction between resistance. For resistance, you can turn your resistance into determination. It feels the same to me. It's just a matter of like resistance is shutting it down, shutting down the flow of your soul, of your potential, of your energy, shutting it down, resisting. Determination is allowing yourself to move forward. It's like pulling yourself forward with determination towards some action that may just be the one action or a couple steps towards an action that opens everything up. But if you're stuck in resistance, you're not going to see what's around the corner that may just be the answer to a prayer, may just be some puzzle piece towards your vision. So you may feel that weight of the Saturn opposition and the moon conjunct Saturn. You may just, may again bring a tendency up to look at everything that you've done wrong. And Saturn likes to point those things out. It's the taskmaster. Say thank you for sharing, and not to be defensive, but I'm going to love myself no matter what. And I'm going to love myself forward through all the perceived obstacles. I love the quote that obstacles are what we see when we take our eye off the vision or the goal. I think is the original quote. And I think it was somebody like one of the original, like Dennis Waitley. I've been following these motivational speakers since I was like 16. So, but obstacles are what you see when you take, I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit with my terminology and my soul language. Obstacles are what you see when you take your focus, your awareness off your soul possibilities. Okay? They're always going to be there. Just as fear is always going to be there. Fear is that companion through the human experience, right? Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Do you think you're qualified? Do you think you're all that, yap, 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 and you know, that yappy dog in your mind? And you just need to say this. And this was coming to me the other day too. In order to shift out of your fears to become fierce, you need to say, thank you for sharing. I know who I am. I know who created me. And I know what God put in me that wants to be contributed to the collective unfolding. So thanks for sharing, fears. I'm going to be fierce. All right. My husband thought that was so silly, but you know what? I'm silly. I am. I love being silly. Nothing wrong with being silly. Embrace all of your unique being, especially, you know, as I'm recording this, the moon's in Aquarius. And Uranus just went retrograde. So when planets go retrograde, they tend to be more potent for us because they're closer to the earth. So, you know, this again, let the full moon. Wow, I went 40 minutes. Okay, I was only going to do 30. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you for being with me. I'm just going to close right now. I think I've said enough. Hopefully it's serving you and your potential. Let me know what your takeaways are, you know, what lit you up when I was saying it, where you went, oh yeah, that's going on for me. Thank you, Victoria. And then what is going to help you navigate this time. Journal. One last thing is journal like all that's concerning you, and then put your hand over your heart, flow some compassion, and answer yourself with some compassion. Like, yeah, I know it's been difficult, but I believe in you and you're loved and you're amazing and I see you. You know, whatever you would say to a best friend, offer that to yourself. Okay, that's it. Subscribe if you haven't, like and comment as much as you can. Send me an email if you want. Sign up for a 20-minute consultation, or be brave and bold and say, I matter enough to book a session with Victoria and come work with me so I can support you and your beautiful unfolding soul story. Okay, much love. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.